Hello? Who's this? You can put that in the chat. I don't know if this is Sarah E. Oh, it's Sarah E. Hi, Sarah E. Can you hear me? Hi. Okay. Here we go. Hi. How are you? Okay. Good. All right. So let's see if everything's set up nicely. Look at this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get started. And we have some do now stuff. Let's see if this comes in good. Okay. See anybody else? I'm waiting for other people to join, but we're gonna get. All right, let me see. Anybody else? Okay, so we're gonna put this over here. All right, and hopefully we got a couple of people joining us today. So what we're doing is we're continuing with our problems, the word problems around circumference, radius, and diameter. And I've got a couple do now questions, actually 3 of them. And we have, so we have a 2-liter Coke bottle, right? And this is my Coke bottle, more or less. Okay, and they're saying that our diameter, so from here to here, is 6 inches. Okay, so we're asking you to figure out what the circumference is of this Coke bottle. So if the diameter equals 6 inches, what is the circumference? Okay, so that's what we're wondering. What's the circumference of this? So let me see. Who's waiting? Oh, I got Tamel showing up. So Tamel should be up here pretty soon. There you go. Hi, Tamel. Hi, Tamel. Okay, so hello. Okay, so the question is posed to you guys. Right now I have Tamel and Sarah E. I'm waiting for a few other people. So what we're doing, Tamel, is it's on the board. We have a diameter of a Coca-Cola bottle. It's 6 inches. And then the question is, what is the circumference if the diameter is 6 inches? So we know that if you have diameter, we'll say diameter times pi equals circumference. Okay, so we're looking for the whole circumference around this 2-liter Coke bottle. Okay, so you can, it's not a big number, so you can use a calculator if you prefer, but I'd rather have you exercise your mind, use a pencil and paper. And I'm going to set this up right here as 3.14, and we're going to multiply because this equals pi. All right, that's a symbol for pi. This is pi, and we're going to multiply this by a diameter of 6. Okay, so you guys type up what you think that answer is. You have to use pencil, paper. I know Tamel is using a calculator. That's okay, because we're going to get into problems today that you can certainly use a calculator. And the big thing is to find out what I'm asking in the question and the strategies we're going to use to find that. So right now I'm waiting for Sarah E. and Tamel to type in chat about the answer to this question. What is the circumference to a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle that has a diameter of 6 inches? Okay, and then there we go. Okay, very good. Okay, I got Tamel. All right, very good, very good. Okay, so, yep, and then Sarah E., did you get that? Did you see what Tamel put down? And he's right. And so we have 6 times 4 is a 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Put the dot, right? And then the decimal point, 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, and that's right. So now the other one is we have a circular swimming pool. Okay, a circular swimming pool. So a circular swimming pool, right, has a radius of 9 feet. So this is 9 feet, and that's supposed to be a circle. So the question is, what's the circumference? So radius equals 9 feet, question mark for the circumference. Okay, so I want you guys to see what you can do with that. I'm not going to help you on this. I want to find out what the circumference, so just type that in the chat, Sarah E. and Tamel. Now you have to understand that radius is half of diameter, okay? So you're going to have to do something with the radius before you multiply it by pi. So what I'll do is I'll give you 30 seconds. Oh, we got something from Sarah E. Okay. And let me see. We got 56.52. All right. Tamel, do you agree with that? Tamel, I'm waiting for you, buddy. Tell me what you think about that. Tamel got 28.26. Let's find out. Well, we know the radius is half. It equals 1/2 of diameter. So the whole thing to find pi is diameter. I mean, the circumference is diameter times pi. If the radius is 9, and that's half diameter, we have to multiply this by 2. So then we have 18 times 3.14. That's a 32. 125 0413 255. Did I do that right? 55552. Let me see. Did I do that right? Yeah. Let's see. 32 3. Right. 8 plus 11. Right. 3 would be 11. Carry the 1. 24. 25. And 2, 5, oh, sorry, there it is, 6. So 56.52. Tamel, did you see what you did wrong? You guys did not, sorry, you got that right, good job. And then Tamel, don't forget, we're talking about the radius, not the diameter, so that's different. So to get the diameter from radius, you have to multiply this by 2 to get to my 18 right there. Okay, now, one last one on the do now, and then we're going to move on. And this is a little different. This is backwards. I'm giving you the circumference. So we have a gazebo is like a little, gazebo is kind of like a little round, it's got a roof but open walls. It's usually in people's gardens or in their backyard. Sometimes you might see it at like a field where they have bands play, and the bands go up and they play, and it's called a gazebo. All right, so it's a round structure, so it's it's kind of like this, and then it's got a kind of, these are open, right, like this, and it's got a big roof, and people go in there and they play their music and stuff like that, and it's usually around a field. So what we're saying is that's a gazebo. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that term. So the circumference, so all the way around the gazebo, is 59.66, and that equals the circumference. I'll just say circ right there. That's the circumference. So my question is, what's the diameter? The diameter of this. So we know that diameter times pi, d is diameter, d is diameter. So diameter times pi equals the circumference. Diameter equals circumference. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have, if I want the circumference, I want to find out the diameter. So we know d times pi equals circumference. So to find diameter, I'm going to divide. What am I going to divide by? If you guys don't mind you can either put on your microphones so I can hear you. Tamel, I haven't heard from you for a little bit, so I don't know if you're still there. If you can just say hi to me in the chat, so I know you're paying attention. Oh, I am. Okay. So my question to you is, what are we going to do? What are we going to divide this by to get circumference? We have the circumference right here. So we have d times pi is equal to 59.66. So I want to find out the diameter. Okay? So it's just like isolating the variable. I'm going to divide both of these sides by, if I want to find this, by pi. So it's really 3.14 goes into 59.66. Move this over 2 places. Move this over 2 places. You can't buy anything that costs $314.05, so it's a 0. Same thing with 59. That's a 0. Now, I know this is only going to go 314 goes into 596 one time. Can you guys finish that for me? And tell me the diameter. Who's got it? Sarah E. and Tamel. Can you please tell me what the diameter is of a gazebo with a circumference of 59.66 feet? So I'm going to wait for you guys to type in what you think. You can use your calculators or use your pen and pencil. Okay? So I'm waiting for you guys to help me out on this because I don't want to do all the work myself, Get you guys engaged in this stuff a little bit more. All right. Tamel, what do you think that is? Tamel got 158. Okay. So 158 times 314. I don't know about that. But I'll go with your 5. We'll see 5 because we have 1 times 314. That's a 2. That's an 8. And that's a 2. And this is going to drop down to 6, right? And you say 5. So, I don't think it's 158, Tamel. Tamel says 158. I think it's going to be a lot less. Sorry, what did you get? Because, Tamel, if you're saying 158 times 314 is not going to give you a little under 6,000. All right? So, I know that 3 goes into 28. What do you guys think? Sarah E., what do you think this is? because I'm not sure. Like you're not talking and you're not writing in the chat, so I don't know what's happening with you guys. So I'm going to ask you to give me the answer to this. You can use your calculator. You can use your pencil and paper. All right. Because from my end, all I see is a Zoom group chat, and if nobody's typing in that, I feel like I might be all by myself here. So it would be nice if you took off your microphones, you unmuted them so I could hear you speak, so I know you're there. Because right now, Timel gave me 158 about 4 or 5 minutes ago, so I don't know what's happening with you guys. Sari, what do you think? All right, because this is okay. I don't know. Okay, so we're figuring out how many times is 314 going to 2,826. I know that 3 goes into 28 about 7 times. I'm going to try this. I'm not real sure. 7 times 4 is 28. 7, 9, 21. So that's wrong. So what it should be, I know that 3 goes into 28. It's a lot closer to 9. 9 times 4 is 36. Carry the 3. 9 times 1 is 3 is 1. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 9 times 3 is 27. Plus 1 is 28. So the true, we want to know the diameter. The diameter here is 19. Okay. So we have a bunch of word problems. We're going to go on from that. And this is all in your classwork. And what I really have, I need you guys to do my ticket to leave. It's a 4-question ticket to leave. And I need you to submit that. I'm doing all this work with you. And so all you have to do is, everybody has a copy emailed to them. All you have to do is you can edit that, you can write on that copy and submit it to me so I can give you a grade. All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to unmute your microphone so I can hear you, because Tamel, I haven't heard from you in a grip. Okay, Sarah E, is it possible for you to unmute your microphone? Because right now I can't see your faces, I don't hear your voices, and if you look at the chat, I haven't got a whole lot of answers or participation yet. I'm getting some, I don't know, no, my sister's also in a meeting. Okay, so then when I put up a question, ask you guys a question, I expect you guys to respond in the chat. There we go, who's that? Is that Tamel? Thank you, Tamel. Okay, so here we go. This is the first problem, okay? Thank you, Tamel. So a hula hoop, you know what a hula hoop is? It's just a big round hoop that people used to, back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, they used to spin around their waist. A hula hoop has a diameter. So this diameter is 4.5 feet, okay? So I'm asking you, what is the circumference? So I want to know, question mark, what is the circumference? Okay, Tamel, what am I gonna multiply 4.5 by to find the circumference?
Pi.
Huh?
Pi.
Huh?
Pi.
Pi. Yes, pi. Thank you very much, pi. Sorry, man, I couldn't hear you very well. Okay, pi. So, Sarah E, do you want to do that? You want to write 4.5 times pi and see what you get? I got 14.13 from Sarah E. Let me see. 0. That's not going to be 14. That's going to be 13. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 1. And this is 1, 2, 3. 14.13. Very good, Sarah E. Perfect. Tamel, did you see what we did?
Yeah, I got the same answer.
You got the same answer? Cool. Thanks, man. Tamel, feel free to, when you get an answer, just type it in the chat. Okay? Thanks, buddy. And I'm really happy and proud of you guys for showing up, because some kids aren't showing up, and it just shows a lot of maturity on your part. So I appreciate it. We have a large beach umbrella, okay? Here's my beach umbrella, right? Of course, it's a round umbrella, right? And then we have, has a circumference of 43.96 equals circumference. Okay, what's the radius? Now, there's two things you have to do to find the radius, all right? So I want to know, what is the radius? Question mark equals radius. Tamel, the last time you did this, you forgot to do one step, all right? So what you're going to do is, why don't you guys tell me what I'm going to do with this to find the radius. So I have 3.96, okay? And I need to find the radius. So tell me what I'm going to divide this by. I gave you a hint. What are we going to divide this by?
Pi.
Okay, you're going to divide by pi. Okay. So I have 3.14 goes into 3.96. And remember, circumference divided by pi, which is what we're doing, is equal to the diameter. The diameter, okay? So, one, two. I'm going to say, what's going to go here? 0. What goes over the 9? Sarah E. Tamel, what's going to go over the 9? Either one of you guys, just type it in or say it. I'm at the $314 store, and I have $439 to spend. How many items of $314 can I buy with $439?
1.
That's right. Thank you, dude. I'm glad you were on the ball. So say 3, 1, 4, and subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. Now we're going to drop the 6. Okay. This goes in evenly. You will start to remember these numbers and how many times pi goes into this evenly. What do you think, Tabel? Or Sarah E, just type it in. 2. Sorry, what do you think? You're kind of quiet. So I'm going to move on because you guys are kind of slow, and I don't think you guys are trying or whatever. I don't know if you're using the computations with your calculator or with pencil and paper. So I'm just going to go ahead because we don't have a lot of time. 4 times 314 is actually 1256. So this is the diameter. I want to know the radius. So we know that there's 2 radiuses equals a diameter, right? So if I divide both sides by 2, radius equals, what's half a diameter? What's half of 14? It's 7. Okay. So that is the answer. Write that down on your paper. And then you can go into the classwork and you can open up your copy that I sent you of this, and you can type right on that page, and then you can email me that document when you're finished with it. Okay, I'm going to erase this. We're going to go on. A large round tunnel has a diameter of 20 feet. So we're doing it's basically a tunnel. Okay. And it has a diameter of 20 feet. 20 feet. What's the circumference of the tunnel? Okay. We know that the relationships, we have circumference, and we have radius, and we have diameter. Okay, so if I want to know here we're asking for the circumference. Circumference is equal to 3.14, right, which is also pi, times diameter. Okay, circumference is equal to 3.14 times 2 times radius. Okay, here we have a circumference. Okay, here we have a diameter, and I want to find out the circumference. So if the diameter is 20 feet, and I want circumference, I'm going to multiply diameter times pi is circumference. So pi is 3.14. I'm going to multiply this by the diameter, which is 20. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, what you can do here is I can remove the 0. If I remove the 0, 3.14 times 2 is the same thing as 3.14 times 20. 31.4 times 2 is the same thing as 3.14 times 20. So 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, and we have 1 decimal place right there. So my circumference to this tunnel is 62.8 feet all the way around. Okay. Now, hey, Sarah E., if you're listening to me, can you type hi? Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to put this on the board, and you guys are going to do it, or you can type me a question, but I'm not going to do this one. All right. I just did 3 plus the 3 on the do now. So this is up to you. I'll explain it, but you're going to do the work, because I don't know if you guys are really what's happening. I can't see what's happening, and I can't do it all. So what we're going to do is so we have a tree. Here's a big old tree, and that's a tree. Okay, on the center of the tree to its bark. So from here, the center of the tree to its bark, right, is 9 feet. It's 9 feet. That's a very big tree. Okay. What is the tree circumference? So we have a 9 feet radius, or 9-foot radius. We have a 9-foot radius, okay? And now I want to know what is the circumference? What is the circumference? What is the circumference? Okay. So I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to give you like 3 minutes. When the 3 minutes is up, I'll see what you guys have, and then I'll go on and I'll solve it for you, okay? But I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do this. Tamel, how you doing? All right?
Yep, almost done.
Huh?
Almost done.
Good. Thanks, man. I'm proud of you, buddy. Sarah E., are you working on this kid? Okay. So Sarah E. thinks it's 56.52. What do you think, Tamel? Give you 1 more minute, and then we'll go over it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up the other problem right here. So Sarah E. can start working on this. Whenever you go around, right, has a diameter of 32 feet. Oh, this is a good one. If I walked around this, so 32 feet is the diameter. All right. Now I'll come back to this. This is number 5. This is number 5. Okay. So Sarah E., what did you get, Tamel? Okay, 28.26. Let's find out. So we have circumference. Circumference equals pi times the diameter. Okay, pi times diameter. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to find out the diameter. Right now we have the radius. Radius is 9. So that means the diameter. If the radius is 9, Tamel, what's the diameter? Can you hear me, Tamel?
Yeah, 3.14.
If the radius is 9, what's the diameter? The radius is just like this little kind of half of it, right? Radius is half diameter. So if the radius is 9, Tamel, what's the diameter? If half is 9, what is the whole? Well, here you go. Here's half, and this is 9. What's going to be over here?
9.
Okay, what's 9 plus 9? 18. Cool. So now you know the 18 is diameter, so we have to do pi times 18. So we have 3.14 times 18. That's a 32. 3, 1, 1, 25, 0, 4, 1, 3, 2, 5, 6, 5, 56, 52. Okay. So very good. Tamel, you were exactly what you did. You said 9 times pi. That's what you did, 9 times pi. So you were very close, but it has to be 18 times pi. Okay? So I'm going to erase this. Now what we have is this is kind of interesting. It's a merry-go-round. So you know what a merry-go-round is, right? You have these little things, these like kind of, it's a horse, right? And it's got a pole through it, and kids ride around on this pole, right? And there's another one over here, right? And it's got legs. And it's just one of these things, at a carnival. So it's got a big, and they have all these little animals on. You guys know what a merry-go-round is? Yes. Okay. So we're in a merry-go-round. And we have a diameter. The merry-go-round has a, that's kind of ugly. Well, let's not be silly about this. The merry-go-round has a diameter of 32 feet. 32 feet, right? The question I'm asking you here is, if I were to walk around the merry-go-round twice, go around once, go around twice, how many feet would I have walked? Okay, so it's building on what we know about circumference, right, and diameter, and I'm asking you, how many feet would I walk around if I walked around this merry-go-round twice? So in essence, I'm asking you, what is 2 times the circumference? Okay, so to find circumference, you have to multiply the diameter times pi, and then I'm saying I'm walking around twice. How many feet have I walked around? And so you're going to have to find out the circumference and multiply it by 2. So I'm going to leave that up to you. And I'm going to step back. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. We know that the circumference times pi equals, it's diameter times pi equals circumference. Okay, diameter times pi equals circumference. But what I'm asking you is, we found the diameter, which is 32. So now we have 32 times pi. And you know what pi is, 3.14. Okay, and I want to know, that's going to be the circumference, right, equals circ. But I'm asking you, I'm walking around this twice, so it's actually going to be 2 times the circumference. Hopefully, yeah, 2 times the circumference. 2 times circumference. All right. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys for 1 moment. See what you can do. I'll give you about 3 minutes to do that. I'll come back. Sarah E., what did you get anything yet? That's not yet, okay. Tamel, were you able to calculate the circumference yet?
32 plus 32, but I don't think that's right.
Speak loudly.
I did 32 plus 32. I got 64, but I don't think that's right. I'm doing
That's it. That's an interesting way to do it. That might work. So what you're doing is you're saying 2 times this equals 1 circumference, which would be this times pi times 2 would be what I'm looking for, because I'm looking basically for 2 circumferences, right? So you can do that. Let's see if it works. 2 times 32 would be, we'll say this times 2, right? Would be 64. 64 times pi, 3.14. We're going to do that. And then we're going to do this. We'll say 32, we'll say here's pi, 3.14 times 32 times 2. It's going to be the same thing, right? So that's a good strategy. Do you know what you got for an answer, Tamel?
I didn't finish doing it.
16, 1, 5, 12. Put a 0, put a 4, a 2. That's an 8. That's an 18. That's a 6, a 9, a 0, a 1, a 0, a 1, a 2. 16 carry 1, 5, right? And then 24 carry the 2. That's right. So it's going to be something like that, right? And then here we can just say this. We say that's 628. Put a 0, a 12, a 1, a 4, a 9. That's an 8, a 4, a 1, a 10. Multiply this by 2. And we get, that's a 16, a 1. That's a 9, a 0, a 0, a 2. Same thing. So Tamel, your strategy was fine. You got that right. You said you're going to say 2 times 32, right, was 64 times pi, and there we got it. I would have done it another way. I would have said 32 times a pi, right, and get the 148, and then multiply that by 2. So Tamel, you had a good strategy. That was fine. It worked out, and you got the right answer. If you followed your strategy, I did a different strategy. I said multiply 32 times pi to get 148, then I multiplied it by 2 to get 296. So it's the same thing, okay? We just did it a little differently, which is fine. All right, so we got, let me see. Okay, so number 6. Sarah E., did you copy that down? Hopefully? Yes, okay, good. Now, now we have a large circus tent, and so you know what a circus tent is. Big circus tent like this, okay? And in the circus tent, and you have like, you know, a bunch of little strings holding this stuff down, right? And in the center of the circus tent, you have a big pole, right? And this is what's keeping the circus tent up, and along with all these other little strings and stuff, these ropes, right? Okay, so we're saying the large circus tent has a giant support pole in the middle that keeps the tent up. If the circumference, so we know that all the way around the tent is 144.44, and we'll call this feet. That's the circumference all the way. I want to know how far is the edge of the tent to the pole. So basically, what is the radius? What is the radius? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we know that we have to use pi is going to come in here somewhere, right? We have 1, 4, 4.44. That equals the circumference. All right. To find the diameter, so diameter equals 2 radiuses. And we kind of just did this in the other problem. Diameter equals 2 radiuses. I want to find out what 1 radius is, okay? So if I divide this by pi, that will give me my diameter. And then I'm going to have to go and divide this by 2 to get my radius. Okay? So I will give you a few minutes to do that. And then just type in your answers into the chat. You can use your calculators, all right? So I'm going to wait until I see you guys type in your answers, and then I'll go on and discuss if they're right or not. Yeah, it is 2 if the radius and find diameter. All writing is a bit confusing. All writing is a bit confusing. Okay, so I'm going to make this up. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to clean this up. Okay, so Sarah E said the writing's confusing, and I can see that. So what we're going to do, we'll forget about all that stuff, but we're still going to work on the problem. So we're saying that the circumference equals 144.44 feet. That's that. Now, to find out, so we have a couple things. We have one diameter equals 2 radiuses. Now, here's my example right here. This is my diameter. This is my diameter, okay? And this is the diameter. This is diameter. My radius would be half of that. And this is my radius. Okay. Now, to find out, I'm asking you to find the radius. Okay. So I can find diameter, okay, simply by dividing this by pi. Because we know that diameter times pi, or 3.14, is equal to circumference. Diameter times 3.14, or pi, is equal to circumference. And I want to find out the radius. So what I'm going to do here is let's find out the diameter, right? And then if you divide that by 2, you'll find the radius. So I can say 3.14, right, goes into 144.44. Okay, this is going to give me the diameter. Okay, this is going to give me the diameter. And we know the radius is half the diameter. So whatever you find out here and divide that by 2 will be your radius. So let's do the work right here, right? Move this over, move this over, move this over, move. So basically I multiplied both numbers by 100 to get rid of the decimal place. And I'm going to say that $1, you can't buy something with $1 for $3.14. That's a 0. This is also a 0. This is also a 0. So now we have 314 goes into 1,444. And I'm going to say that 4, because 4 times 3 is 12. And that's really close to this. So 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Now, I'm going to start to 4 minus 6. You can't do that. You have to borrow 1. 14 minus 6 is 8. The 4 is now turned into a 3. This is going to be a 3. 13 minus 8. 13 minus 5 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay? And this is 0. And then you say, and then just like 4 minus 0 is 4. Now, how many times does 314 go into 1,884? I know that 3 times 6 is 18. Let's try that. 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, this is perfect. That's gone. Now, my diameter, we just figured out, was 46. But we're looking for radius. Radius is half a diameter. So if I divide diameter by 2, I get the radius. So, Sarah E., what do you think the radius is going to be if the diameter is 46? Or Tamel, what do you think? Very good, Sarah E. So Tamel, hopefully you got the same thing. She got 23. Okay. Did I make that a little bit more clear, Sarah E? Was that a little bit more? Was it easier to understand that way? Yes, thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. And then divide that by 2 and you get 23. Perfect. All right. We have enough time for one more. Okay. And we're almost finished up completely. This is wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. Do you guys copy this stuff down? Are you guys good? Good job, Tamel. That's right. Perfect. Okay. Are you guys good on this? Everybody get the right answer, so I'm going to move on to the 7th problem. All right. So what we have is a mountain bike wheel. So a mountain bike wheel is like this. It's a mountain bike wheel. And it says that it has a diameter of 16 across. 16 across. This is 16. That's the diameter. That's the diameter. So a mountain bike wheel has a diameter of 16 inches across. How many inches will the bike travel if the wheel spins around 10 times? So they're saying, so you know, when you're on a bike, I used to draw these all the time when I was a kid because I love bikes. And I can still do it. Okay. So it's a pretty good bike. So what we have here is we're saying that this to here is, that's 16 inches. They said the diameter is 16 inches across, okay? It's a small wheel, 16 inches across. Okay, so then they said, how far would I, and this would be the same thing, and every time this wheel spins around, right, it travels. And so I know it's 16 this way, but I want to know the circumference. So we have to find circumference. So we know that 16, that's the diameter. Diameter times 3.14 equals circumference. Okay, so we're going to multiply 3.14 times 16, and that's a 4, 2, and 8, and an 18, a 0, a 4, a 1, and a 3. That's a 0, that's a 2, that's a 0, and that's a 50. So how we have this, right, is that every time this wheel spins around, it travels 50.20 inches. So my last question to you is, if this spins around 10 times, how far will have traveled in inches? So we have 50.20. I have to multiply this by 10 to find out the total distance. So I will let you guys type in your answer to that. And that should be pretty simple, because all you're doing is moving a decimal place to one side. Tamel, what do you think it is, buddy? Sarah E., type that in.
I don't know how, but I got 2.
What's that?
I got 2.
You're 2 what?
I got 2 inches.
Okay, so
Well, I guess you could put like the decimal in front of it, but I got 2.
Where's the decimal going? This way or this way?
Right way.
The right. So we're going to move this over here. Tamel's right. Right? So now we have, what's this say, Tamel? Can you see my board?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's 502.0.
There you go. So how many inches is that?
2.
It's 502 inches.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? Dude, good job, man. You did really well today. I appreciate that help. Sarah E., good job. We're wrapping it up. You have I want you to go on to the document that I sent everybody. So we have a ticket, we have a do now, that's okay. What we did right now was 7 problems. I want you to take your notes, go into the document, open up the document, everybody has their own copy, and write your answers on that and send that to me. Then you have another document that is a ticket to leave. I believe you have I think it's 4 problems, okay? Same thing as what we've done, a little tricky. You can email me questions if you want. Do that ticket to leave. That's actually even more important than this, but I want them both, okay? And you send me that ticket to leave after you've completed it, okay? All this stuff is due Friday. Today's Wednesday. It gives you 48 hours to do 4 problems. And I did everything here except the last one. We're out of time. I want to say goodbye. I appreciate you guys showing up. I appreciate the participation. Do you guys have any questions for me now? Before we wrap it up, Sari, you have any questions? Tamel, you have any questions? Nope. Tamel, you got any questions? No, bye. Okay. And Tamel, you good? Bye. All right. Tamel, you good?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Good job, man. I'm proud of you. I'll see you later, okay? You good? Bye. Okay, cool. Bye, guys. And that's that.